Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope all of you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. During this pandemic situation, all of you are staying at home for a long time. Vikarnasanam School Authority has taken different steps to conduct and to continue your classes in a very nice way. So, this is another platform. We are going to take your class on Noon Batan, which is the Facebook page of Vikarnasanam School and College. So this is Mubina Mustari, Assistant Teacher, Vikarnasanam School and College, English version, day shift. Today I am going to take you a class for the students of class 6 and I am going to take you science class, and our today's chapter is 7, properties of matter and external effect. So dear students, I know that not only the students of Vikarnasanam School but the students of other schools are also joining with our class. That's why I am requesting you, please mention your name and from which school you are joining with me. And this is your book, science book. So dear students, it's very important to conduct and to continue a class with your book. This is the first time class 6 students are going to give the answer of MCQ questions and creative questions. To get a very good marks in MCQ section, you must have to read the chapters properly and all the important lines should be underlined. That's why the importance of book is very important. Because today we are going to start the chapter 7, properties of matter and external effect. This chapter is about different types of matter. At first, after completing this chapter on today's class, you will be able to learn what is matter and its classification. Secondly, you have to know about what is metal and what are non-metals. Then we have to will practice properties of metal and non-metal. Okay, so this is our learning objectives, and I just want to see that all of you are hearing me properly or not. This is you just mention here. Okay, so many students has joined with me. I am feeling very happy that lots of students are joining, and it's encourage our teacher a lot when a group of students, a full classroom who are attentive in their class. So from Boshundhara branch, from English version day, English version morning, and from other school the students are joining. So please stay with me, open your book, and the page number will be 58. Today we are going to learn this. So at first we have to know what is matter. Okay. Our first, so this matter definition may come as definition in your creative question, in knowledge level question. What is matter? Okay, so whenever we are wake up from morning, at first we go to the washroom, wash our faces with water, we do brush by using a brush, then we sometimes use paste. Okay, then we are wearing clothes. I am writing with this marker. This is a whiteboard. Suppose this is wax. Okay, this is a coin. There are lots of things surrounding us. I am standing here in front of me. There are lots of things. All the things are matter. Okay, so in this world there are many things. Maximum things will be considered as matter. So if I want to define what is matter, you will say that the substance which has mass. To be a matter, the most important part, that substance must have to be mass and it will takes a place. Suppose I am holding a marker. Of course, this marker has a definite mass, and this marker belongs a definite space. This is a book. This book has a definite mass and it takes up place. So we can say the marker, the book, it is a matter. So matter will not be always solid. Matter can be liquid and gases also. So how the liquid may be a matter? Because when I am going to a shop, you are going to a shop, suppose we are buying 1 liter milk. Of course, the milk has a definite mass and it of course contains the volume of a container. So the liquid substance can also be considered as a matter and the gases also. Okay, so consider this is a balloon. You see the balloon, it's a very common thing, and inside the balloon there are air. Okay, so this air has also mass and it also occupies the space. That's why we can say air is also a matter. So dear students, can anybody say which is a non-matter? Surroundings, there are few things that cannot have mass. We cannot measure the mass of that things and they cannot take up space. They are called non-matter. Such type of substances are temperature. Okay, so if I write what are non-matter and example, non-matter. So non-matter are light and temperature. So we are using different types of bulb at our house, but we cannot measure how much bulb, how much light is providing by the bulb. And suppose you have fever, you are just by a thermometer you are measuring your body temperature, but you can't weight the temperature and it doesn't take the space. So they are called non-matter. Okay, so to be a matter must have to be mass and they have to be take space, and non-matter they don't have mass and they doesn't takes up any place or space. Okay, so the example of non-matter, light and temperature. So dear students, if from the lesson just we have know about matter and non-matter, if this type of MCQ question has come, which one of the following is non-matter? Suppose this is the question for you, MCQ, and the option is given A, option is given here, we are writing stone. B, we are writing here oxygen. C, the option will be milk, and D, the option will be light. So what will be the answer? You will choose in your exam. Just hurry up and mention the answer in your just write the option A, B, C or D. Then I can check it. Okay. So which one of the followings is non-matter? Stone, oxygen, milk or light? We have just learned it now that one of the 4 option is a non-matter. Which one will be the answer? Okay. So some students, Mahabuba Shikha, she write the answer first. Nurun Nahar, D, yes, light. Then many of you, very nice, you are very prompt typing. Okay, I am just writing the answer and almost 50 students have given the appropriate answer. And one of the most important thing, dear students, because this is a live class and it will be recorded, so if I can't mention your name, don't be upset. I know that if you heard your name from your teacher, you become very happy, but during this short time, I can't mention the name, all of you. But if you have any query, I must be write the answer after completing my class. Okay. Then we are going for our next topic. The answer is correct. The option is D. In the classification of matter. Okay, so there are lots of matter in the world. This is uncountable number. Okay, so the matter can be classified in many ways. Okay, the matter can be classified either it is solid or liquid or gas, either it is flexible or non-flexible, the substance is rigid or non-rigid, the substance can conduct electricity or not non-electricity. So at first we'll classify the matter, either the substance, the matter is state. What is the state of that matter? So on the basis of state, the matter can be classified into three major classes, three classes. So on the basis of states, matter can be classified as number 1 solid, number 2 liquid, and number 3 are gaseous matter. Okay, solid, liquid and gas. So this is very common to you. From class 2 or class 3 you are getting the idea about solid substances, liquid substances and gaseous substances. So as you go to the upper classes, you will be get more information about the substances, what is solid, what is liquid and what is gas. Okay, so I am holding the marker. Okay, or I have a coin in my hand. You can see this is a wax. Okay, all these things are solid. Okay, so if I say which substances are solid, the substance which are hard, they have definite shape and volume. Okay, so I can see that this is a round shaped coin, this is a long shaped marker, and this is a long shaped marker, this is a round shaped coin. This is a definite shape and volume. If I throw it from my hand, it will not be broken. The shape will be as same as before. So we can say this is a definite shape. So the most important properties of solid substance, they have definite shape. Then the second one, they have definite volume. Like this marker, if I keep this marker in this way, if I keep the marker in horizontal way, or if I keep this marker any other places, okay, the volume and shape will not be changes. This is the properties of a solid substance, that they have definite shape, definite volume, and they are rigid. Rigid means hard. Okay, solid substances are rigid. Okay, now about the liquid. Okay, so we are drinking water. Sometimes we are drinking water in a long glass. Just consider, this is a glass of this design, this is another types of glass, and if I take a glass like this, in every glass I keep 200 milliliter water, 250 milliliter water. Here also 250 milliliter water. It means that the volume of the water is same. It has a definite volume, but the liquid substances have no definite shape. If I keep the same amount of water in this jar, it will take the shape of this long glass. If I take in this glass, it will take the shape of this glass. And if I take a medium category glass, same volume will, their shapes are different. So we can say the liquid substance has definite mass, but they don't have definite volume. Liquid has definite mass, but they don't have definite volume. Okay, and they are not rigid. Liquid substances are not rigid as solid substances. They are not harder. Okay, then the last one, gaseous substance. Gaseous substance is very interesting. The gases cannot be seen. Can you say the name of a gas which is very important, and in this room of course that gas is present? Say the name of that gas. Without the gas we can't live. We can't live, we can't breathe. Not only we, none of the animals, human except human being, all the animals in water or in land, they need that gas. Yes, Liana, Farhana, very some of maximum students are writing answer. Maisha, then Adrita, very good, very good. It's very common gas. The gas is oxygen. Without oxygen gas, I can't talk. But can you see the presence of oxygen gas here? Or can we measure how much oxygen gas is present in this room? Okay, so we can say gaseous substance has no definite mass and they don't have definite volume. Suppose this is a large room. I am standing here. All the gases, if I want, I can keep in this balloon. It's possible. In a small sized balloon, a large volume of gas can be kept. And if I just make a hole of the balloon, the gases will be come out, the air will be come out, and it will be spread whole the room. So we can say that the gaseous substance has no definite shape and volume, and they are not rigid. Okay, so dear students, we are classifying matter on the basis of states. They are solid, liquid and gases, and we know that these states are not fixed. Okay, they can change their states. So the very common substance we are using daily, that is water, and I think all of you have the idea that the water has three states. The solid state of water is called ice. The liquid state of water, which is we know water, and the gaseous state is known as water vapor. Okay, so same substance, how they can remain in different states, what is responsible for that, and how they are changes their states. Is it possible ice to convert water to vapor? Yes, it's very easily. If we heated ice, apply heat, then it will be converted into water, and if we apply more heat, then the water will be converted into water vapor. The opposite incident may occur also. If we remove heat, minus heat, then the water vapor will be cooled down into water, and if we again remove heat, then the water will be converted into ice. Okay, this is the concept. Now you have to know more proper way that why the same substances are remain in different states. What happens, or when we are applying heat, why they are changes their states. So you have to remember that. Suppose I am drawing the ice. All the substances are made of molecules. So these are water molecules. In the solid state of any matter, the molecules are very closely packed with each other. There has no space. That's why they are solid. So in any solid substance, in marker or in wax or in the coin, they have different types of molecules, and these molecules are closely packed with each other, and that's why they are solid. What happens if I heated the wax? After some times you will see that the wax is melted. Why the wax is melted? What happens? or when we bring ice cream from the fridge, the ice cream turns to be melted. What happens? So when we apply heat on a solid substance, the molecules get energy. Okay, after getting energy, they are separated from each other. They just go far apart from each other, and they are be like this. Okay, they are not that much close with each other, and it is called the liquid state. Okay, again, when we apply more temperature on milk or water, sometimes we can see that the water turns to vaporized. How? Then the molecules get more energy, and they have no attraction with each other. They just go far away from one another, and it is just like this large container. One molecule is here, another is here, another is here. So they have no attraction with each other and converted in further apart, and this is the gaseous state. Okay, so now if the question has come, explain the change of the states of matter from solid, liquid or gas. What happens? Okay, so then you have to say about the molecules, and you have to say about their attraction. Okay, that in the question will be like this. Explain the changes of the states of matter. At first you have to say what is matter. There are how many states of a matter, and how the matter are changes by heating, and you have to of course mention the word molecules, because we know that all the substances are made of molecules. The smaller part of that substance is called molecule. In the solid substance, molecules are closely packed. In liquid substance, they are far apart, not more attraction, and in gaseous they are far apart, far apart. There is no attraction. Okay, so I think matter and its classification you understand, and we are going to our next topic at the page number 60. Matter can be classified in many ways, not only by the states of matter. There are any other ways also to classify a matter. That is, a matter may be soft or hard. A solid substance can be soft or hard also. Okay, so a stone and a marker is not same types of harder. Okay, stone is more heavier. There are some solid substances which are not that much hard, like eraser. You use your eraser, so if you throw the eraser, unfortunately one of your friends hit, you will not get that much hard. But don't do this, I am just giving example. But same sized stone, if you throw, and if anybody get it, it may harm your friend. Okay, so the solid substance may be rigid, solid liquid substance not that much rigid, and according to the different way we can classify matter in 5 another ways also. Number 1, this is density. So I am writing, you just write down in your book, it has written, you just underline that a matter can be classified in which way. In your book, details explained about the classification of matter as their states. We can classify matter, either the matter, in 5 different ways also. Number 1, it is density. Number 2, it is number 3, flexibility. Number 4, we can write here conductivity. And number 5, it will be density. Conductivity may be 2 types. Sometimes it is heat conductivity, and sometimes it is temperature, heat or heat conductivity will explain here in the properties of matter, the conductivity, and another heat or thermal. In your book it has mentioned as thermal conductivity, and another is electrical conductivity. Okay, so according to these 5 classes, density, rigidity, flexibility, heat conductivity and electrical conductivity, a matter can be classified also. Okay, so I think we have completed matter and its classification. Then we are going for a very important types of matter. Okay, so our next learning objective of today's chapter, we have to know about metal and non-metal. Okay, so dear students, can you say which substances are called metal and which are called non-metal? So if we go to a shop, or the person who are not science student, they will say the definition of metal: hard substance is metal, soft substance is non-metal. But as a student of science, we have to define the metal and non-metal in a different way. We have to define more preciously which substances are metal and which are non-metal. So the definition, at first we have to know what is metal. Okay, so metal are the substances which are mainly, they are hard, they are rigid, but these are their physical properties. Physical properties means they can seen from outside. So this, I am holding a marker, this is also hard, this is also rigid. Okay, I am holding here, I have a coin. Okay, this coin is also hard and rigid, but is both of them are metal? Okay, so to be a metal, a substance will be hard, rigid, they are shiny, they can conduct heat and electricity. So all these properties, if a substance belongs to, then that substance will be considered as metal. So we can say the definition of metal in this way: a hard and rigid substance which are shiny and can conduct heat and electricity are called metals. Okay, so we can give the example of many metals like iron, copper, then zinc. They are different types of metal. Gold, we are using lots of, we are wearing gold ornaments. Then silver, they are called metal. Okay, and the non-metal, non-metal is the opposite of metal. Okay, so non-metals is not soft, but they are not harder compared with metal. So the definition of non-metal will be the substance which is mainly soft and dull in nature. It means that are not that much shiny in nature and cannot conduct heat and electricity are called non-metals. Okay, so the most important difference between metal and non-metal is that metals can conduct heat and electricity and non-metals cannot conduct heat and electricity. We will learn more properly what is the conductivity, how metals can conduct electricity and not in our later topic. So you have to know about the definition. So they are non-conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, and the example of non-metal, all the gases. We heard different types of gases named: oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, carbon. This marker is made of carbon and this is hard, but this is a non-metal because this substance cannot conduct heat and electricity. But the this is a scale. Look, this is a scale, and this is another scale. This is made of plastic, which is a non-metal. This is made of iron or steel. This is a metal. Okay, so these are the example of metal and non-metal properties and Okay, dear students, non-conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, now you are learning the definition of metal and non-metal, the example of non-metal, oxygen, then we can say carbon, the wax, which is, what is this? This is a wax. This wax is made of carbon, and this is a non-metal. Okay, so this is non-metal, and we can give example of water. This is a compound, not this is a substance, this is a compound. So these are the example of metal and non-metal. So I think you will learn the definition of metal and non-metal, and our next topic will be how can you say that, how can we prove that metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. And we have to know actually what the word conduct means. Conductor means what? I am saying that metal are good conductor of heat and electricity. What do I mean by that? The properties of metal and non-metal. So at first property of metal, we learn that metal, number one, metals are good conductor of heat. Okay, conductor means if I want to conduct something, okay, suppose I want to give you a message, to convey the message to your another friend, you will just take the information from me and give the news to your friend. You here act as a conductor. Okay, so in case in the science, what do we mean by conductivity? Okay, so consider this is a stainless steel made of iron and other metals also present here, and this is a candle. So if I lit the candle and keep the candle here, okay, practically it is not possible because it becomes heated in a very short time. Consider the candle is lit up, and when this part of the scale is heated, within very short time it will not be possible to hold this scale by my hand, because very rapidly the whole part of the scale will be heated. This means that the scale, this steel scale, act as a conductor. Okay, so this is made of metal, and we can say that metals are conductor of heat. It means when this area is heated, the molecules will be this area, supply the heat to the next molecule, and very rapidly the molecules will go from this end to that end, and the whole scale will be heated. So this is means the conductivity. Okay, so metals are very good conductor of heat. So what about non-metal? If I write the properties of non-metal, so non-metal, what happens? Look, I have another scale which is made of plastic, and we know plastic is a non-metal. So if I heated here, okay, this part, okay, I am holding this part will be melted, and it will be destroyed by melting, but the heat will not be conducted from this part to this part. Until it is melted and broken, I can hold it in my hand, because the non-metals cannot conduct heat. The molecules of non-metals, they will absorb the heat, but they will not send the heat or conduct the heat to the next molecule. So non-metals are non-metals cannot conduct heat. Okay, so different types of examples are given in your book. Okay, this is the most important. The same thing you have to know the summary, that metals can conduct heat and non-metals cannot conduct heat. Okay, so now I want to ask you, do you want to know what is the responsible for the metal to conduct heat? I am just saying they are conductor or not conductor. Do you want to know why the metals are conductor of heat and why are not? Is one of the student asked, is gold metal? Yes, of course, gold is metal because gold is shiny, it is hard, it can conduct heat, it can conduct electricity also. So gold is a metal, silver is a metal, zinc, iron, copper, they are all metal. Okay, so yes, very interesting, and I am very happy that lots of students still are with me and they are continuously asking questions and giving their answer, which make our teacher very comfortable and very happy to conduct a class with a lot of students. Okay, what responsible a metal to conduct electricity? Okay, so consider this is a piece of metal. Okay, so all the metal has free electron. You have to know that. Okay, because you are now the students of class 6, you are going to the upper classes, they will get details about free electron. What is electron? A substance is made of electron, proton and neutron. All the substance has this. Okay, metal and non-metal both have electrons, but in metals the electrons are free. Okay, so these free electrons are moving in the whole metal piece. Consider this is a metal piece and the heat is applied here. So the electron will be absorb heat and it is moving. That's why it will be give the heat to the next electron. By this way, this electron will convey the heat to the next electron from here to here, from here to another electron. So very rapidly the heat will be transformed from here to there. So this area will be heated and this area also be heated due to the presence of free electron. And what about in the non-metal? This is a piece of non-metal. There has electron also. Okay, and but these electrons are not free electrons and they cannot move in the whole place. Consider this substance has lots of electrons but they are not moving and they are not free. So when I am applying heat here, the heat will not be conducted from this area to that area. So we can say non-metals cannot conduct heat. And if it is a metal, so here lots of free electrons are present. So if I heated in this area, heat will be conduct from one place to another. Okay, so this is the heat conductivity. Then the next very important properties of metal is metal can conduct electricity. Metals can conduct electricity, good conductor of electricity, and non-metals cannot conduct electricity. Same way, the same thing is responsible for conduct the electricity is free electron. Okay, so in a piece of metal, so dear students, what is this? Look here, this is an electrical wire. Okay, so in the electrical wire, look here, some very nice colored wire are present. This wire is made of copper. So look, copper color, very nice color. This copper is a metal. These electrical wires are used in everywhere of our house by to apply different types of electrical appliances. Okay, so why the outermost part? What about this? I am holding this. Electricity is not coming into my body or I am not get any types of shock. But if I touch this, when the switch is on the electrical board, the electricity will come to me and I get shocked. Okay, why this happens? Because the inside the electrical wire there is a wire which can conduct electricity made of metal, and outside of this there is a plastic cover. Okay, if I hold this, the men who are working with electricity, they will not be hampered, they will not be electrolyzed. Okay, but if I touch this, it will get harm to our body. So we can say that metals are very good conductor of electricity and non-metals are not cannot conduct electricity. These are the two major properties of metal and non-metal. Okay, dear students, I hope our today's learning objective has done matter and its classification, metal and non-metal definition with its properties. You will read the chapter properly, underline the lines which I have said. Inshallah, in our next class, I will try to complete this chapter. Till then, you will learn the definition of metal, non-metal, matter, non-matter, and their properties. Okay. So still then, be happy, stay at home, follow the instructions provided by your teachers and parents, and eat balanced diet to keep your body fit and healthy. Be happy. Assalamu alaikum.